previously on Still Married, Young and Tied.
So, I know some of you guys got married young. Do you feel like you regret getting married at the age that you did?
Crazy enough, I knew I was going to get married early.
I don't remember your testimony.
Yeah, I knew I was going to get married early. I tell people that all the time. When I was young, I said I was going to get married at 21. God did at 22. Wow. Hallelujah. But honestly, like I said, if I could get married even earlier, I would have. But I was not ready to get married earlier. You know what I'm saying? I tell the story all the time. But Stanley used to play at the church all the time. Like, you know, replacing other musicians when they weren't there. But every time he went to play, that's the day I didn't go to church. Oh, wow. I knew all of Stanley's friends but him. I said to Stanley, I was like, the way I was back then, you would have not liked me, like, at all. Like, we wouldn't have been a good fit for one another, like, at all.
I can't say that I regret it. I think, if anything, I would have preferred being more prepared. You know, whether that's at 23, 22, 21. That preparation is lacking in general in the church. So I think that's the only thing that I would have appreciated if I could do a do-over, just to be more prepared. But the age, I don't think it really made a difference. Yeah, it's about maturity.
Because someone can get married at 18 and they mad mature than somebody at 35. So true.
Yeah, and I think even like God was preparing me to do a lot of things sooner or maybe earlier than some of my counterparts or my peers. Also the person that I'm not trying to keep up with the Jones. I'm saving every penny, even though I didn't have a boyfriend, I didn't have a husband, I didn't have no kids, I didn't have a house, I didn't have no bills. You know, I could have been rocking all the latest fashions and everything, but I chose to save just in anticipation of like, okay, I have bigger goals, I have bigger things to do. And then when my mans was trying to get married ASAP, we weren't starting from like zero to save up. He came with money that he had already saved up. I came with money already saved up, and then we built on top of it so that we could be able to get married.
I say this to my husband because I don't want him to get a big head. Like, marriage and my husband, like, really saved my life. Charlotte came into my life at the perfect time, the time that God sent him in my life, because that stage I was going through, like, I had just graduated from high school, and I was looking for attention. I was looking for the wrong type of friends. That's when God was like, you know what? I'm going to send someone into her life that's going to keep her on the path that I need her to be. And he sent my husband. Wow. I thank God for him every day that he chose to marry me when he did, that he chose to be in my life when he came into my life. And that's purely God saving my life.
I have no regrets, because what I'm about to say is going to sound kind of cliche. Like, all of the decisions that I've made, all the choices, all the things that's happened to me, it formed and shaped my character the way that nothing else would have. I got married at 28, 2 weeks before my birthday. So there, at that point of my life, I was primed, I was ready to be a wife. Sometimes I would find myself thinking like, oh, if I hadn't made this decision, maybe I would have gotten married earlier. But it's like, you know what? It's okay, because I learned lessons. And so now I can say, like, I'm a wise wife. I have understanding. I have knowledge that I didn't have then. And so I made all those mistakes then. Now I could just be lit. Come on, you know what I mean? And just, you know, just live and just be in God and grow and not have to worry about all those, like, 101 facts of life type of mistakes. And I have no regrets.
I feel like a lot of things that you go through, it is a learning experience. Like, I don't go through any situation without asking God, like, what you want me to learn from this? You know, it prepared me mentally to deal with the individual that I am married with now. Okay, because I'm like, you know, especially when you're coming from two different backgrounds. He came from Haiti. I was raised here. He had, you know, and that initial that initial, you know, growing together is just like, sir, you know, before, if he hadn't met me before, I'd have been like, I don't got the patience for you. I don't got no other time, nothing. You know, but God molding me and building my character as a Christian woman, I was able to kind of, and I'm blunt. Like, if you, I'm gonna tell you about yourself real quick. You know, so, but like, just, I can still tell you about yourself, but in love. Okay?
The way that I envision my honeymoon is something very special, you know, because so for you guys, was your honeymoon, the first night, was it what you envisioned?
I fell asleep on him.
So I know.
In the middle of it. My wedding was in the morning.
We.
Okay.
Oh, it's my wedding.
Yeah, it was a morning wedding.
Yeah, you gotta
So I was so
Break it down.
exhausted after, first of all, the wedding setting late, dealing with people getting on my nerves. Then getting to the place, catering to everybody, making sure we're taking pictures. And then we get back to the hotel. My bridesmaids came, was laughing with us, drank up all my wine. I go freshen up. He's laying there. I go freshen up in the bathroom. My mother had taken me lingerie shopping. My mom.
Your mom.
Took me lingerie
Wow. Right.
So I went in the bathroom, put everything on, got freshened up, and then came out the bathroom like, hey, honey.
Wow.
And then we got doing it. And then I got so tired.
But didn't you have a honeymoon baby though? Don't do that.
No, but I was so tired. And then I woke up the next morning. And he was like, I'm gonna do me some more.
Wow.
Sorry. I was tired.
I don't know. Maybe I just needed a vacation. I don't know. I wasn't like working all the time. Like I just needed a vacation.
Right.
And like I said, that guy is like my guy. Like that's my best friend. So I was on a vacation with my best friend. So we was lit once again. We was lit once again. So nah, I didn't.
I was just like, we legal.
That's really it.
Yeah.
On my honeymoon, I did not answer the phone. I did not respond to texts.
Yeah.
Honeymoon, you'll hear from me when I return.
Yes.
Back to Brooklyn.
That's why she got the glow.
Okay. We spent all these months stressing out. I don't want to interact with anybody right now. It wasn't what I thought it would be. Like, oh my gosh, because I feel like over time, that honeymoon ideal, you get that. But in the beginning, it's kind of like a little like, okay, I have to figure you out, you're gonna figure me out, and then we're just gonna work out the kinks along the way. So in that regard, no. But yes, because it's kind of like, okay, we're married now. Like, it's kind of like you have to kind of shake the, okay, this is not a sin. Okay, you gotta shake the, okay.
Bro,
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like for me,
definitely,
that's what's gonna have to
100%
click. Like,
click.
girl,
100%.
he's yours
Like
now.
you're not hiding yourself. You're not going in the bathroom like,
yeah. It's like a lot of mental work because you are still you. You feel like you, but it's like everything's different.
Yeah.
So it's like your mind has to catch up with the reality. Like, okay, this isn't wrong. This is not a sin. God is not going to feel mad at you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
He's
it's
like, yeah,
he's like, do what you gotta do, sis.
instead of like cowering in shame, now it's like the angels are clapping.
Yeah,
Right?
you better do it.
Yeah.
So it's like yes and no. Yes, because that's your best friend. It's like, wow, we're there now. But no, it's like gotta work out the kinks. So that's how it was for me.
Like one thing that you mentioned, that kind of the whole making it click, it's not gonna click overnight. Like it's a process. Like my husband was like, relax, like
No, but
we
you know
good.
why?
And it's just like I'm in my I'm like, oh my gosh, so cool for my guy. Or like, I'm like, he's like, and then, you know, open mouth, yeah. When you're married, the seven knowledge is you unlock a different level. So they're like, so they're like, so cool, you have to show off and I'm like,
different conversation.
yeah, completely different conversation.
Yo, they don't even call me Sir Aaron. They call me Sir Stanley, bro.
So you lose your name.
You lose your name. I hate that. It took me time, like, walk naked around the house. What?
Yeah.
You know, like, show off in front of your husband. You know, be that. Because you're supposed to be able to turn your husband on. You gotta be the freak for him. Like it's you two together for life. So
We're not talking about this.
You know, so it's like you tell me knowledge. You're like, you know, sex is sin. Sex. And then you traumatize. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and like, you know, this, you're my husband now, so I know we should be doing this, we could be doing this, we fine. But that was just a thing, and I'm still learning like how to be completely comfortable and like let myself go 100%. Going into 2 years now.
I didn't have any real expectations for my honeymoon either. Let me stop running. I think. So
speak on it.
Nobody here is talking about it, so let me talk about it. But me and my
it.
husband had struggled a lot before we got married. So we struggled a lot. I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
By God's grace, we made it to marriage.
Yeah.
From the time we was in the bridal suite, it was like, okay, like, hey, I can touch you guys. You know, that first time is not what it
expect.
seems.
Yeah.
You watch like Love and Basketball.
Right,
you watch all these movies.
Fireworks.
You think it's gonna be smooth sailing, and it's not smooth sailing.
Not there.
It's not smooth sailing.
Over there.
You have to learn.
Yeah.
You have to
Each
learn
other,
each other's
yes.
bodies. You have to learn like, okay, this is good. This feels good.
Yeah.
This don't feel so
No
good.
teeth. No teeth.
Bro.
And they don't really talk about that in the church. They don't talk even amongst the servants. Like if I'm getting married tomorrow, like
You gotta tell
like the government should like put me on. Like tell me what am I supposed to expect? Because me coming from not having any experience, and then now it's my wedding night.
Yeah.
You may be expecting it to go a different way. And yes, they tell you like, oh, you're gonna be tired. Oh, you're gonna this. You're gonna that. But they don't tell you that before y'all actually get it right. You know,
and enjoy what you know.
And I think that first night after we like tried and it didn't really go as planned, I was like, all right, like let's
figure this out.
Let's have a meeting. We're gonna try again. Okay, team, we're gonna regroup.
Break. Let's go.
You know, like I think we need to regroup and then get back tomorrow. But then you have your whole lives together to learn. Like it's no rush, you know. It's no real reason for you to get it right the same night. Like it's like you said, you're legal now. Like you got the license, you could do it anytime, any place, anywhere. Like it doesn't matter, you know. And I will say this in response to what you said about like always being told that it's a sin. I'm actually not even mad at that because I think part of that like fear is what kept me away from sinning for so long. You know, when I was in high school, I was so afraid. I thought like, nah, if I do this, like God for sure is gonna give me a kid. God for sure is gonna give me a kid. And so
like I'm gonna be the unlucky one.
I'm gonna be the unlucky one. So I thank God that of course there should have been a balance of teaching about God's grace and then teaching about the beauty of marriage and then also teaching about sin. But that fear, y'all, is what kept me. So I'm not even mad about it. It's what kept me through the engagement period because sometimes you look at the man and you're like, whoa, like
we're getting married
we're getting married, and there's couples that may struggle with that, and you gotta scare them. You gotta scare them straight. Like nah, it's no good. It's no good. The sex experience itself was not. It wasn't what I envisioned. You know, you go from being so hot, and then you're like, yo, we about to get it on and popping, and then it doesn't really happen.
No, you know what needs to happen? Sorry for cutting you off.
No.
Sex education in the church.
Hallelujah.
Oh, it's not gonna happen.
Especially in the Haitian church. Like I'm not talking about, and it's so important because the schools are teaching our kids sex education.
Talk about it.
So you need to teach them the right education, especially if you know a certain young lady is about to get married or they're engaged. You know. You need to sit them down and tell them, okay, this is what can happen. You know, sometimes when you don't it's your first time having sex, you're gonna get dry. You need to have this. You need to do this. This is the type of things you need to speak to the young ladies and the young men about, because some men, they don't know if it's the first time they're having sex ever. They need to know, okay, this is what the female organs look like. This is where they're supposed to put their stuff. You know, you don't want them to put it in the wrong hole. You know, there's multiple holes. All of these things.
I think that is important for couples that are getting married to have that education. And even the Bible talks about that, right? Like the Titus 2 women, the older teaching the younger. It's not just the cooking and the cleaning, but it's an extra component too that you have to teach
too.
How to clean yourself.
But what makes me have like such an understanding is that, for example, like our parents, well, like our grandparents, like our parents might not have got that from our grandparents, so they don't even know how to show us that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of sad, but it's our job now to teach our children and stuff like that, because we don't want it to be a generational type of thing. But,
and I think between our parents and us, there is a generation in between that. You know, I'm thinking of like my mom is like 60 something, but where's like the 40 somethings, you know,
Right.
that's been married? Where's the, you know, y'all ain't old, but y'all not our age. There is a generation that could be teaching. There's single women right now. We could be possibly talking to them. We're not the older women. And it sucks because there's so much more that we could learn from the older women, but when they don't step in, it's just like, dang, like, okay.
You gotta
I see my sister about to get married in a few weeks. Okay, sis, let me sit you down and tell you a few things because homeboy might not know, you know, he might not know that it's your first time and things may be, you know, you gotta wake it up down there.
I know, like, as soon as you guys got married, it wasn't like, okay, you didn't just like become a wife, like automatically. So what was something that you had to start getting used to doing as a wife?
Cooking. Child. Because I'm the type to order out. Like, I don't like I don't like labor. Like labor. Oh my goodness. Like, even if I want to make, like, even if I know how to make it, I'd rather buy it. You know what I'm saying? So now, for someone like my husband that likes rice morning, noon, and night, you know what I mean? So it was, and he doesn't like, he's not really a fan of like, you know, junk food and stuff. He likes home cooked meals. And he works hard and he's coming home and he has to find something cooked. And I gotta be the one to do it. Oh, girl. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. But like, he loves my cooking. Don't get it twisted. But like, I don't cook it. I don't like to cook it, but I do it because I love him. Of course. You know what I'm saying? But girl, that was something I had to adjust to. I'm still adjusting, about to be 2 years into it.
I was used to waking up and my mom is doing everything. Once in a while, I would cook. Oh, if it's not, I'll do it. And then, silbo, okay, silbabo, okay. But now, it's like, oh my gosh, if I don't get up,
it's not gonna be done.
No one's gonna do it, and I can't start. He can't start. It's not even like, oh, I do it because I love him. I do it because I gotta eat too. The other thing I found to be, for me, this is the thing that grinds my gears, because the cooking thing, you know, I don't mind it. I enjoy cooking. I like experimenting in that kind of way. The cleaning. Because I'm like a neat freak, and so with a touch of OCD, so I just a touch. You know, I rebuke that spirit of OCD, but you know what I mean. Like,
we don't want those problems,
right? Too much.
It's like I have to do everything. He'll help out if he wants to, but that's not really that often. Like, I'm doing all of it. It's like, once again, I'm used to, okay, all the dishes in the sink. I'll clean once in a while. It was me and my 4 other siblings, so I didn't have to do all the time. To cleaning everything all day, every day. Making sure the room is clean. Making sure there's no dust on the floor. Making sure I'm mopping. It's like never ending. It's never ending. It doesn't stop. And it's like, oh my God.
Moi-même, c'est bon, c'est merci. I thank God because my husband, he loves to cook, and so it's like, you know, we praise the Lord, hallelujah. But like, those were things that we had. Those are conversations that we had to pre-marriage too. It's just like, don't expect, because I'm like, I'm not going to be the one that like I'm gonna come in and cook every day, clean every day. Especially like we're both working. If I'm home, you know, fine. Maybe I come home after you, or I leave the house 9 and I'm coming home 7, 8, and then you expect me to cook on time. Right. You know, and I thank God for that, because now in the house it's balanced. You know, he's home, he cooks. I'm home, I cook. We clean. Sigamba na sink. We, you know, you got that. You tired? I'm tired. All right, we get it tomorrow. Fine. You know? Fortunately, like, and you know, typically it's like, oh, you a woman, you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm like, yo, you know, at your time, you weren't going to work as a female. You were in the home. You know, so it's like, to be fair, you have to figure out how to balance it. I'm gonna treat you like a king because I expect you to treat me like a queen. You know, but it's just like we're doing this together. I'm like, we're partners. But I thank God for my husband. Marcus, I love you, baby. You know, he cooked for me. You know, his food is bomb. You know, so it's all about balance, guys.
So for me, hardest thing I think going into marriage for me was my mouth. My husband, like you said, like Marcus, born and raised in Haiti. We come from I was born and raised here. Two complete, whole different backgrounds.
That's amazing.
And me, when I came into the marriage, I wouldn't say I was disrespectful, but that's what he would say.
Wow.
Wow. But I would talk back, or he would say something, and it was very hard for me to really, okay, Ruth, stop talking, just listen and understand where he's coming from. So that was a big issue. Another thing that I came in with a lot of baggage. I was young, very young, and very emotional. Another thing that I came into the marriage with was the fact that I had a lot of siblings. I was a person that really wanted attention because I never got that because I had so many siblings. I never really, I was always the sibling that nobody really cared about because.
Were you like the middle child?
Yeah, I'm sort of like the middle child. So nobody really cared about me. And with him, he's an only child. So
He had all the attention.
He had all the attention, but he's really to himself. So something we struggle with is I want attention. He doesn't want attention. So trying to get that balance. Oh, I want you to touch me. I want you to caress me. I want you to give me affection. And he's like, I just want to be alone right now. But now he's learning so much more. He'll play with me in the car sometimes. And it's really he's understanding what I need.
Your love language.
Yeah.
I can agree with everyone and say the cooking and cleaning is not the easiest to adjust to. But I'm also going to say I don't mind it now to a certain extent. There's, of course, days where, you just don't want to do anything. You, we about to get some wings or somewhere and call it a day. But over time, I did learn to cook and clean, and it's kind of therapeutic to me in a way. The cooking gets a little stressful. But the cleaning, I do enjoy when the house is clean. I enjoy, just lighting my candle when I'm done. Signature. Turn off the lights. I put the little stove light on. The kitchen is closed. And John already knows, once he see the little stove, the kitchen is closed, and don't open nothing, don't touch nothing. So it's become therapeutic for me. And being a wife, it sucks to say, but you do have to manage the household, and I believe you have to manage it, whether you're working or not, because the men may not make it a priority, and you do not want to see your house go up in flames.
Yes. You get upset, you get angry,
because they are gonna go to bed and they're gonna be cool. As long as my bed is cool and I can go to sleep, they may not make it a priority how a woman might make it a priority. And another thing too is I try not to complain about it because I just moved into my house last year. By God's grace. I didn't have a house before this. So I can't be in the house that God gave me complaining about cleaning. I can't be in here tight that I'm cleaning because it's thank God that I even have
space.
I have a space I have a living room now. Thank God,
What is the best part about being married?
Is being able to share everything with that one person. Not only tell them everything, but being able to share experiences with them. Just as we gotta be going out on trips, going on vacation, do new things with your husband. Being able to be that intimate with somebody. My husband knows too much about me at this point. He knows a lot about me, and it's gonna get to that point eventually where we know everything about each other. So I think that's just beautiful, I think it even transcends best friend. Your husband, your husband is your best friend, but it's a little bit more than that.
I feel like he knows me better than my parents.
That's what it is. It's the intimacy.
You know what I'm saying? When you live with somebody,
it's crazy.
Morning, noon, and night, child.
It's crazy. The intimacy level is crazy. This person sees you at your worst. They see you at your best.
But you have to understand another thing. I think that. Sorry to cut you off, but another thing that puts it's the cherry on top is they choose to accept you. People like your parents and your siblings. I don't want to say they got no choice, but they got no choice.
Yeah, they don't got no choice. They push you.
But the fact that he sees my flaws, he sees when I be wilding, you know what I'm saying? And he's still, Lord Jesus, I thank you. And he still want to stay.
Yeah.
And I don't even know know if I would want to stay with myself. Right. The way I was running. Yeah. But I had like the same thing. I didn't know how to like, when I got angry, I didn't know how to like, you know, take it down a notch. Like, so the fact that he's still here and he's still helping me work on it, like you're not just, there's a difference between, girl, that's my guy. You my guy. You my guy. You my guy.
That's what God intended it to be, you know, when the two become one, you leave your family. Like, he wanted us to get together and for that person to be the most intimate person that, the person that you're the most intimate with. Yeah.
Me is definitely the inside jokes. Like, and my husband and I, we have a lot of those.
And that's
so, like, and you know, I saw this meme on Facebook where they're like, the true gossiping goes on when you're at home in the bed with your husband. Like, y'all be gossiping, okay?
They tell you not to tell nobody, but it's like, okay.
I wouldn't live or do this journey with anyone other than my husband, because he's like my number one. Yeah. Like, even though he gets me upset and he gets my nerves.
Yeah, for sure.
All the time.
For sure.
All the time.
For sure.
I'm just letting you know. If you're watching this,
or when you're watching
this, you get on my nerves. But I love him to death.
So, okay, mind you, this is the 4 months plus.
Everything
is just wonderful. Everything's the best. But as we are growing in our walk in life, like, I'm observing and I'm just seeing like the molding happening. Like, we consummated, but it's like we're becoming one. It's like a continual process that I'm observing. Like, I don't even have to say anything, and it's like he can tell me exactly what I'm thinking. Glad like we worked out the kinks in our courtship. Like in the beginning of our courtship, it was just cat and mouse. Like, I couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand me. And so we worked it out with accountability, with counseling. But now we're at this point where it's like, no, we have enough maturity to work things out ourselves. And I'm amazed. Like, if I'm every day I'm thanking God, and I'm like, if he wasn't the one, I'm sure we wouldn't even have made it this far. We wouldn't have made it past 1 week maybe.
It's just really good, and it feels good to know that he's mine. Like, I'm my mom's only child, and, you know, I had cousins and stuff, and, you know, we were raised with other people, but it's still not the same. But now to have somebody that knows me inside and out, and I could be like, you are mine and all mine. I could be selfish with you. For me, that I have somebody that I can claim for my own, and, you know, and to be like the cherry on top, is like, he's an amazing guy, you know.
Well, you guys, this is the end of the video. Once again, thank you, ladies, for coming through. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for having us. I'll be texting y'all personally. I see all the advice.
But thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. And until next time,
peace.